Shall we just switch to the order of play on court number 1? And there you'll see it. Wayne Arthurs, a qualifier from Australia, doing tremendously well to get this far. Plays Andre Agassi, the number 4 seed first. They've, like the others on centre court, have been on, had a look at it, had a little knock up and had to go off. And we're expecting them to come back pretty shortly too. Then it's Kim Clijsters, the youngest player in the championship. She's only just 16 a couple of weeks ago, from Belgium. Her father was an international footballer. You might remember him, if you're a football fan, playing against England in the 1990 World Cup, a match that England just about scraped through 1-0 with a Platt goal. Well, he played. Her father played in that match. And she takes on the 7-time champion Steffi Graf. What a big day for her. And of course, Big Greg against Mark Philippoussis, probably the two biggest servers, will be third there on court number 1. There's Steffi Graf. There's Jelena Dokic, who, of course, created the big story last week, knocking out Martina Hingis. Now, as we said, Graf plays Kim Clijsters today, the 16-year-old from Belgium, who created something of an upset in the last round when she knocked out a seed, Amanda Kurtz. So we're going to hear from Kim first, but first a reminder of how she got past that last match.
Game, set, match. Clijsters.
Did you always want to be a professional tennis player?
Yeah, I think like the first lessons I started, I really wanted, like, the coaches saw that there was something in me and that I had the talent for it, so yeah.
Yeah. How much were you inspired by your dad? Because he was a fairly good professional footballer, wasn't he?
Yeah, he did a lot for me, and then he means a lot for me, and I think he's for me, like, the best thing he can do is, like, to be mentally, to be there for me, and that's a big point.
Good attack, this is Devolve. 4 others up. And coming in on the far side to score a lovely goal is Clijsters.
You used to go and see him play?
Yeah, when I was younger and I didn't have to go to other countries to play tournaments, yeah.
Yeah, because he played, I think, in a Cup Winners' Cup final. He played in the World Cup, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Yeah. So going along and standing in the crowd, did you think, well, yeah, I'd like to do that maybe one day on a tennis court?
No, I think when he was on the court there, I was very proud of him, and I think that it's the other way around, yeah.
What are her qualities?
Well, I think her biggest quality is that she wants to put pressure on her opponent from the first point, and that's mainly what she tries to do on every surface, but especially on grass. It pays off, of course. Why has it been going so well for you?
Well, I played here last year. I played the juniors here, and I think that has given me a lot of confidence. And I really like the grass, and I think I have a good game for it. So yeah, I like it.
Who were your heroes? I mean, Steffi Graf, did you think, gosh, she's my real sort of hero?
Yeah, she has always been like a tennis legend, and one of the biggest tennis players for me. So it's amazing for me to play against her, and I think it's for me, yeah.
Do you know her even to speak to her? Does she know you, or?
I don't think she knows me.
How will you approach this match then against Steffi?
Well, on Monday I have to forget that I'm playing against her or where I am. I just have to play my game and yeah, be focused on myself.
What sort of tactics will she use to beat Steffi Graf? Do you have a plan that you will sit down and suggest that she uses?
Well, I think there's one big issue that she needs to adjust to the backhand slice of Graf. She doesn't score that many direct points with her slice maybe, but she prepares the point really well with that backhand slice.
You've been preparing with that with the players she was playing today,
yeah,
you used especially for that.
Yeah, exactly. And once she gets adjusted to that slice, hopefully she can do some harm with her fast pace that she normally used to play.
Do you honestly think you can beat her?
yesterday I played, I think, the best match of my career, of my life. So yeah, I don't know how she's playing, and I think quite well. So now we'll see what happens, and yeah, like if I lose, I'm in the the round of the last 16. So the tournament has been great for me. So I've got nothing to lose anymore.
Sure.
Good girl. Kim Clijsters talking there with Gary Richardson. She plays Steffi Graf, scheduled second match on court number 1 today. Now, you know I cued those doors to open for the players to come out a little bit earlier. Well, if I do that, it'll probably happen. It has happened. Got it right at last. Henman against Jim Courier. They're about to have a bash at having a bash. They came out and hit earlier, and we had that little shower of rain. Then they were tempted to come again, and we were threatened with rain. And now, at the moment, and I say this cautiously, there is no rain. But we'll have a few showers around during the day. But the players are back out, and I'm sure you, and we certainly are, very much looking forward to this match. It's going to be quite a battle. Henman is slight favourite because of the surface. They expect him to play very well today. But Courier is such a fighter, he beat him in the Davis Cup. So they're having their second knock-up now. This will last for a little while, and then hopefully we'll have some continuous play for you from centre court. Just to remind you, we've got Ruzetsky against Philippoussis later in the day from court 1. And here on this court, after this match, it's Venus Williams against Anna Kournikova, and then Boris Becker against Pat Rafter. Great matches around on this first day of the second week of the championship. Right, let's join the men who'll be watching this match for us then. Once again, it's Peter Fleming and David Mercer.
Here's the second warm-up, starting some 43 minutes after the first one finished, and let's hope that this one will preface some actual play. And if we look first at Tim Henman, Peter, the expectations now surrounding British tennis are so much higher as we look at his progress through to this fourth round. A couple of years ago, when Jeremy Bates was getting to the fourth round, it was just a superb effort. Now Henman and Ruzetsky are expected to do better.
Well, certainly, David, that has evolved over the years in that before Jeremy Bates, there were very few successes at all amongst the British men, and with Jeremy, Tim gained an appreciation that it was possible for him to reach the fourth round, and in the last 3 years, of course, he's reached the quarterfinals twice, and last year the semifinals. And with all the talk and the hype about Tim and Greg, it's natural that everyone would expect them to have a chance to win this tournament, and they both certainly do. Tim Henman especially is one of the most natural grass court players in this draw. In fact, I would say there's only one player who enjoys playing on grass more than Tim, and that of course is Pete Sampras. His game is well made for grass. He serves very well. He likes to serve and volley. He likes to chip and charge on the returns, but even more importantly, because he's so loose with his hands, he's got wonderful feel in his hands. He's able to adjust to bad bounces more so than, say, a fellow like Jim Courier, whose ground strokes are a little bit stiffer, perhaps, and doesn't quite adjust to the bounces as well on this surface.
And Jim Courier, of course, has already had 2 epic matches here, beating Carlos Moya and Sheng Xiaoquan in 5 sets, and 13-11. That was the second longest match in Wimbledon history after the classic Charlie Pasarell-Pancho Gonzalez match. Now let's compare the performance of the 2 men in their 3 matches to take us into this last 16. And Peter, have a look at these statistics and pick out the ones that you think are the most important.
Well, we can see, first of all, the aces is a little surprising that Courier has more aces than Henman, although his first serve is very effective. The first serve percentage is also quite telling. Jim Courier doesn't hit his first serves quite as flat as Henman does, and therefore he's able to get a higher percentage in. The second serve points won Henman slightly more. I think that's probably due to the fact that he serves in volleys on his second serve much more than Courier will. Returns in play. Now that's where we can see really the Henman hand feel. He's able to see the ball just a little bit better and doesn't commit to the shot as soon as Courier will. So Henman gets a lot more returns in play, and I think that statistics may just be the telling one in this match, that Henman will get more returns into play and therefore will get many more chances to break on this surface.
Well, both support teams are in their appointed place in the competitors' box. David Felgate, it looks as if he's been agonizing already. And there's Jason Goodall, who's joined the camp for Wimbledon, a former British player. Lucy Heald, of course, Tim's girlfriend. Jan Felgate, David's wife, and Tim's agent, and mum and dad, Jane and Tony. And just behind Jane, you'll see in the white cap, that's Brad Stein, who is the coach of Jim Courier, and I suspect that he'll quite soon be joined by Tom Gullickson, the American Davis Cup captain. And of course, Jim Courier has this remarkable Davis Cup record because when he's played on the team, America's never lost.
Yes, and I think some people can downplay that a little bit simply because he has lost individual singles matches, but there's no that intangible that he brings to a team of just not accepting defeat is infectious, and I think that's a fantastic achievement, really.
Well, we're all keeping our fingers crossed that we're going to get more sunshine than showers, but you can see dark clouds over there. Fortunately, that's from the roll box end, and our weather is coming from our left. So let's hope for a few more of those from behind umpire George Diaz.
First set. Henman to serve. Players are ready. Thank you. Play. Love 15.
Who said pros don't get nervous before a match?
Love 13. Oh! 15-30.
Interesting to see that Henman was staying back behind a first serve then.
Well, this shot from Courier virtually unplayable. Henman guarding the down the line pass as you must.
Game. Courier. First game.
So a very tentative starter from Tim Henman.